This is VOA Africa.
Good evening, I'm Esther Githuyu. It's Friday, January 31st. This is Africa 54. The World Health Organization declares a global health emergency as the death toll in the coronavirus outbreak climbs to over 200 people. Is the White House considering withdrawing troops from Africa? We'll hear from the U.S. Africa Command's top military officer. And Kenyan farmers turn water hyacinth into manure. From speculation to confirmation, the World Health Organization has now declared a global health emergency due to the coronavirus outbreak that is gripping the world with fear and has killed at least 213 people, all in China, where the disease originated in Hubei province. The city of Wuhan, the epicenter of the outbreak, has now been shut down, and officials have ordered all residents to stay home. China says it has confirmed nearly 10,000 cases of the coronavirus. The WHO, which declared the accelerating outbreak an extraordinary event requiring a coordinated international response, is voicing fresh concern that the virus could spread undetected in a country with a weak health system. Spokesman Christian Lindmeier told a Geneva briefing Friday there is a huge reason to keep official border crossings open to avoid people entering in and out unchecked for possible symptoms of the disease.
But the only way to control, to check fever, for example, to identify travel history, to try to monitor who's coming across your border and to see whether they have any signs of infection is through official border crossing points. So again, this is a huge reason to keep official border crossing points open in order not to have any unofficial, illegal, or whatever crossing you would want to call that, where you then lose track of people and cannot monitor this anymore.
At least 18 countries are now confirming cases of the coronavirus, including the United States, where the White House is warning Americans not to travel to China. The virus is difficult to spot and stop because only an estimated 1 in 5 cases will result in severe symptoms, which means people can spread the infection without having any symptoms or without knowing they have the infection. In East Africa Friday, Kenya Airways and Rwanda-Air say they have suspended all flights to and from China until further notice. Kenyan officials have sent samples from a person suspected of having the infection to South Africa for further tests. The patient is isolated in a Nairobi hospital after arriving Tuesday on a Kenya Airways flight from Guangzhou in southern China. Meanwhile, Ethiopian Airlines, Africa's largest carrier, is denying reports that it would suspend flights to the Asian country. Air Tanzania, which was poised to start maiden flights from Dar es Salaam to China in February, said Wednesday it had postponed the plan, citing concerns over the spread of the virus. The Australian Health Minister confirmed on Friday there are now 9 cases of the coronavirus in the country. The latest infection toll comes as Prime Minister Scott Morrison tries to dial back concerns about what the government is doing to protect its citizens. Australians returning from Wuhan and Hubei province in China will be quarantined on Christmas Island. The Prime Minister says travelers from Hubei or people who have been in contact with a confirmed case are being advised to self-isolate for 14 days. Many countries are evacuating their citizens from Wuhan. Australian authorities are continuing to negotiate with China to have their citizens repatriated. Now, in other top news, the commander of U.S. military forces in Africa testified before the U.S. Congress Thursday on supporting French efforts to fight terrorism in the Sahel amid reports that the White House is considering withdrawing troops from the region. U.S. Africa Command General Stephen Townsend told lawmakers that American forces in Africa are critical to maintaining Washington's ability to fight across the globe.
Africa overwatches a global crossroads with strategic choke points and sea lines of communication that are essential to global commerce and critical to U.S. operations in the world. Our future security, prosperity, and prosperity rest on this strategic access in times of crisis and ensuring these waters remain free, open, and secure.
French troops are the largest foreign force contributing to the fight against Islamic militants in the Sahel. Senator Jack Reed asked General Townsend how a potential reduction in U.S. forces might affect those efforts.
If we drew down, what signal would that send and what practical consequences might that have for their cooperation in the fight?
Senator Reed, so as you pointed out, the French are the lead international partner in the Sahel region of West Africa. They have about 4,500 troops there that are engaged in active operations every day to counter the threat that's there. The threat that comes from both al-Qaeda groups and ISIS groups there. That threat is very serious, and that threat is on the advance. And I think the French would say, in fact, they have said publicly recently, that their efforts are not having the desired effect that they need. We are supporting both the French and the larger international effort there. There's a significant European effort there. Our position, the position of the Department of Defense is that the Europeans need to step up and do more in the Sahel to help the French. The French are calling on Europe to step up and do more. I absolutely think that is the right thing to do. And as we see the violent extremists advancing, if we were to withdraw support from the French precipitously, then that would not go in a good direction. So
General Townsend said counterterrorism operations in Africa are a cost-effective contribution to U.S. national security.
The violent extremist organizations that are on the continent, both in the East and in the West, some of those groups threaten the American homeland today. Some of them will potentially be a threat in future years.
U.S. lawmakers asked General Townsend about this month's successful al-Shabaab attack on the new Kenyan airbase in Manda Bay.
I think it's self-obvious we were not as prepared there at Manda Bay as we needed to be. Al-Shabaab managed to penetrate onto that airfield. A lot of people don't know, but the base where our troops live is not where the airfield is. But they were able to get access to that airfield, kill 3 Americans, and destroy 6 aircraft there. So we weren't as prepared, and we're digging into that to find out why that's the case. But since that event, there's about 120 infantrymen there on the ground now, who are securing that place, and they've been working hard since 6 January to put in the appropriate level of defenses. So I'm confident that by the time they're done, Manda Bay will be much more properly defended. We're not just stopping there, though. We're looking across the continent because I think that we viewed, and the Kenyans viewed, Manda Bay as a safe area. The Kenyans have family housing there for their military. It's a resort area. So al-Shabaab has shown their reach and the danger that they pose. And I think we need to take that seriously. And so I'm looking with a clear eye at every location in Africa now.
U.S. Defense Secretary Mark Esper says the administration of President Donald Trump will not totally withdraw forces from Africa, but adjusting troop levels may mean a greater emphasis on countering Russian and Chinese influence and less of a focus on countering terrorism. Now, after 3.5 years of tortuous negotiations and political chaos that forced the resignation of 2 prime ministers, Britain on Friday will officially leave the European Union at 11 p.m. London time. As Henry Ridgwell reports, January 31st is not the end of Brexit, On the contrary, it simply marks the end of the beginning of Britain's long departure.
Members of the European Parliament sang a friendly farewell to their 73 British counterparts Wednesday after voting through the terms of the UK's departure from the EU. Pro-Brexit British MEPs celebrated as they headed home.
Any regrets? We're leaving. Freedom, democracy, self-governance.
For others, sadness and regret.
Everybody will miss the British representatives, not all British representatives, for example. I don't think that we will miss Mr. Farage, but all the others, yes.
So with Britain's EU departure in the last hour of Friday now certain, is that Brexit done and dusted? Not so, says former US Ambassador Charlie Rees, now with the Rand Corporation.
Many people believe that Brexit, having gone through 3.5 years of debate about what kind of Brexit to have and whether to have it, it's all sorted, it's all done. It isn't done at all. In fact, the actual dimensions of the new relationship between the UK and the EU is just starting.
The continuing uncertainty during those negotiations will cost Britain $5.5 billion in lost GDP this year alone, according to a report co-authored by Rees. Boris Johnson, who hosted US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo Thursday, has ruled out extending the EU negotiations beyond the end of 2020.
The sooner they get it done, the faster they get the uncertainty gone. On the other hand, if they get a worse deal to get it quicker, then they may pay over the long term to reduce the uncertainty in the short term.
Johnson wants quick trade deals with the US and other countries outside Europe.
Whatever they gain from the rest of the world will not offset the costs of withdrawing from the EU.
Early indications suggest Europe will demand access to British fishing waters and guarantees that Britain won't undercut the EU's labour and environmental standards in return for access to the EU single market. Britain has ruled out such close alignment.
A new clock is ticking. 11 months is extremely short.
The United Kingdom itself is coming under increasing strain, with Scotland demanding a vote on independence so it can rejoin the EU. Brexit will be celebrated by its supporters, with parties in central London and elsewhere Friday night. But 31st of January is the end of the first chapter in the long drama of Brexit. Henry Ridgwell for VOA News, London.
As always, we are excited to hear what you think about Africa 54. Join the discussion on Facebook. The address is Africa 54. We're also streaming our broadcast live on Facebook. Please watch and share our show with your friends. Also check out our headlines 24/7 on voaafrica.com. Still to come, the hot new sounds from South African rapper Shoma Josie. We'll be back in a flash.
Clara Frank, and here's what's trending. Most consumers are unaware of the potentially harmful chemicals that can be found in skincare products and on clothing. Now a company called Evolved by Nature wants to lead the effort to replace artificial chemicals with natural silk protein. Parabens have been linked to hormone and fertility damage. Formaldehyde, another preservative, is a known carcinogen. The technology may be modern, but since the ancient Silk Road, silk's been a prized textile. Both soft and strong, it helps the body retain heat in cold weather and stay cool in heat. The company says lab-manufactured silk is also sustainable. Next up, researchers at the California Institute of Technology have created bionic jellyfish by embedding microelectronics with hopes to deploy them to monitor and explore the world's oceans. A small prosthetic enabled the jellyfish to swim 3 times faster and more efficiently without causing any apparent stress to the animals, which have no brain, central nervous system, or pain receptors, according to researchers. The next steps will be to test ways to control where the jellyfish go and develop tiny sensors that could perform long-term measurements of ocean conditions, such as temperature, salinity, acidity, oxygen levels, nutrients, and microbial communities. They even envision installing minuscule cameras. And finally, this Napier grass, which grows in the Mau forest in Kuresoi, Kenya, may help reduce greenhouse gas emissions in East Africa. It provides animal fodder for cows, which graze in the area, and according to a new study, it could help improve diets and boost farm yields. Kenya has 2 million smallholder dairy farmers, whose farms have 10 cows or less, according to a study carried out in Kenya by the Center for International Forestry Research, Wageningen, and Lancaster universities. The use of Napier grass as fodder could help reduce strain on forests. Napier grass is mainly fertilized by use of organic fertilizers, so it has an advantage over other sources of animal feed, such as maize, that mainly uses inorganic fertilizers. And that's what's trending today.
A U.S. Republican senator says there is no need to call witnesses about impeachable offenses against President Donald Trump because Democrats have already proven their case against the president, and the offense is not impeachable, but it is instead inappropriate. Senator Lamar Alexander said in a statement Thursday, there is no need for more evidence to prove something that has already been proven and that does not meet the United States Constitution's high bar for an impeachable offense. Alexander added that the Constitution does not give the Senate the power to remove the president from office and ban him from this year's ballot simply for actions that are inappropriate. 4 Republican senators need to join the 47 Democrats and independents in the Senate voting to allow witnesses to testify in Trump's impeachment trial. But if the vote to hear witnesses ends in a 50-50 tie, Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts, the presiding judge, could cast a deciding vote. But since this would be unprecedented in an impeachment trial, no one is sure exactly what will happen. The trial could end Friday, with Trump's likely acquittal on charges of abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. Farmers in Kenya's Asembo region near Lake Victoria are tackling the blight of water hyacinth by turning it into fertilizer. Emma McCarthy has our report.
Water hyacinth has choked off large parts of Lake Victoria, the world's second largest freshwater lake that straddles Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania. Yeah. But farmers in the Kenyan town of Asembo have found a way to curb the intrusive weed's advance while also boosting their own crops. They're turning it into fertiliser, chucking the hyacinth in a pit with other farm waste and wood ash. Farmer Alex Ochieng says the hyacinth compost helps suppress weeds on his farm.
It is abundant in the lake. When you harvest it, you can spread it on the farm with a thickness like 1 inch. Then it will suppress the weed, so there will be no weed coming from the soil.
Governments have had little success in eradicating the weed. It now covers parts of the lake's surface like a carpet, cutting off communities from vital fishing grounds. As well as tackling that problem, the compost solution also helps with another. Farmers are being encouraged to avoid synthetic fertilisers in a bid to improve the quality of their soils. Soil degradation affects about 180 million people in sub-Saharan Africa alone, costing them around $68 billion per year, according to a report by Agriculture for Impact.
That was Emma McCarthy of Reuters reporting. It's time for our entertainment report, and joining us now is Music Time in Africa host Heather Maxwell with something hot. Tell us all about it.
Hi, Esther. Hello, everyone. So usually I'm not a huge sports fan, but I'm really excited about this Sunday's Super Bowl. That's the annual championship game of the National Football League here in America. Well, I'm excited because South African rapper Sho Madjozi is performing. I featured one of her songs with Kwame in 2019. And since then, several more of her songs from her debut album, Limpopo Champions League, have been big hits. And now, on Sunday, she'll be sharing the stage with popular American acts like the Black Eyed Peas and Diplo at the biggest sporting weekend in America. Let's watch this Song of the Week feature from last year and get up to speed on this bright, colorful shooting star. We have selected a song called Huku. Huku is by a singer from South Africa. Her name is Sho Madjozi. We just love her.
Let's get right into it.
Yeah! All right, so we love this song for many reasons.
Sure.
But the big news is that Sho Madjozi just won Best New International Act with Black Entertainment Television Awards this year. So that is really exciting. I already love Sho. I've played her music before on the show, but she just won this award.
Oh, yes, and it's been a great year for her so far. Apart from winning the Best New Act at the BET Awards, she's also won a couple of awards at the SAMAs, that's South African Music Awards.
Oh.
Yes, she won Newcomer of the Year and Female Artist of the Year. So definitely, Sho Madjozi, keep going, because we are loving your music here at Music Time in Africa.
Yeah, and she says, you never told me you love me, but you get angry when you see me with other guys. Yeah, so what do you like about her?
I just love how colorful she is. She's very youthful, very energetic, and I just love how she loves Limpopo.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, she is from, well, her mother is South African. Her father is actually Swedish.
Oh,
but she was born and raised in South Africa. And she's really proud of her heritage, the Tsonga people from that part of South Africa, where I've been to, by the way.
Okay.
It's beautiful up there.
Always abandoning me here.
But Sho is also awesome because she is quite an international young woman. She's about 27, and she went to school at Mount Holyoke in Massachusetts here in the U.S. She lived in Tanzania. And she even said one time to South Africans, when she came back from South Africa, she'd been in other parts of Africa. She came back and they said, "What's Africa like?" She said, "Wait, well, South Africa's Africa too." Yeah, so this is Shoma Josie, and so what I like about her too, what I was saying before is, you know, she brings a real international flavor and colorful look to her music.
And I wish her all the best. She's having a good year. She started having a good year in 2018. 2019 looks very colorful for her. Keep going, Shoma Josie.
Keep going, Shaw.
And Shaw is keeping going. That's our music entertainment for today. Now, Esther, you have a question about Shaw?
Yes, of course, because a lot of people think she is from the Swahili-speaking region. Huku huku, I understand Swahili means here, here.
Yeah, this song is in Swahili, that's true, but she sings a lot of songs in her native language, Tsonga, as well.
But she's from South Africa.
Yeah.
Waiting for Super Bowl, right?
Yes!
Thank you so much. All right, be sure to join Heather Maxwell again next Friday for another exciting entertainment report right here on Africa 54. And that's our show for today. Be sure to watch Africa 54 on our website at voaafrica.com. From all of us here in Washington, have a great weekend.